Well, hello again. Welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger. It is April 24th, 2022. This week has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster for me. Work has been pretty busy. It is definitely nice to be back working again after this long, crazy pandemic. Although it would be nice if salary can start catching up and I can start getting paid like prior to the pandemic. But anyway, that's incidental. We are all suffering the result of the pandemic, um, so there's no point talking too much about that. However, it is relevant to today's topic. You see, um, I had an almost divine, almost religious, and definitely prophetic experience this week that I think it's worth sharing. But let me go back a little bit. Let me backtrack a little bit. Now, those of you who's watched my past few weeks episode, you already heard me talk about this a little bit, especially during Toy Thursday when I first returned from my vacation. So it is no big secret that I found myself in a bit of a financial clinch. Well, without going into any specific detail, a bit here means I was in debt over $10,000. Now, some people probably think, whoa, how the hell did you get in debt for $10,000? Well, it's not as difficult as you might think. Ever since the pandemic, ever since the shutting down of work and everything fell apart, especially in those first few months, first couple of months of the pandemic, when grocery stores were not even delivering groceries in a timely manner, and shelves were bare, and it was really hard to find all the groceries items, especially if you were um, disabled in any way. Those first few months, I basically relied heavily on Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes and any of those meal delivery services to keep me going because it was such a difficult thing to find grocery. And yeah, even the food banks had such a huge lineup that there's no way to even attempt that. And then as the pandemic dragged on and work was pretty much nil, there's no work, no income from work whatsoever, uh, I had to fight tooth and nails to get any kind of pandemic relief support from the government. I did end up getting some, but it was uh, very unstable. And I don't know, it kind of made me a bit uh, confused, shall we say. It made me a bit confused. How is it that out there, any Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, homeless people, drug addict, alcoholic, was able to get maximum pandemic support without even having to confirm anything. They just dial a phone number and push a few buttons and poof, and there was money in their account. And I, who had been working hard and be a good boy and contributing to society all these years, how come I had such a hard time? It's beyond comprehension. Okay, but let's not get into that because if I get start on complaining about how inefficient, how incompetent our government workers are sometimes. I can be here for the rest of the evening. So let's skip ahead. So suffice to say, first couple of months of the pandemic, massive usage of my credit card. You relying on Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes and DoorDash almost daily. Now, if you have not tried that, and if you have some extra money set aside, I say go ahead, try that. Try using Uber Eats every day for a month, and you tell me how much of an impact that makes on your credit card. A lot. Okay, and then so after the first few months, we have the issues getting the pandemic relief, and then well, as some of you who have been on this channel already know, Tiger got sick and is now on regular medication. So all that cost a lot of money. So that's why, my friend. That's why. That's how in 2 years' time, uh, I I was in a massive hole with my credit card company. I was massively in debt. And even though I am still able to meet my pay to make payments regularly, I feel that the walls are closing in. I was feeling that the walls were closing in because it seemed like I make $300 payment and the 200 of that getting gobbled up by the interest. And then next time there's an emergency, if a tiger needs medication or something happened, something broke in the house that need to be replaced. By the way, my computer chair is kind of broken. That still need to be replaced, but right now I don't have the money for that. Just saying. Things like that. Next time there's an emergency or something needs replacing around the house, uh, the credit card get near being maxed out again. So it was like I was constantly putting money in, but it's not making a single bit of difference, and I was living on knife's edge. I remember once upon a time, I heard a wise person say that of all the suffering, all the internal sufferings a person goes through in his or her life, the thought of not having enough money or the thought of being massively in debt got to be up there and one of the worst feeling. And he went on to describe the feeling of you may not have enough money to live, the feeling of you may uh, not be able to pay back your debt. It's like having a nest of rats inside your gut, and they're digging and digging and digging when you're trying to sleep. They're digging, biting, clawing inside you, trying to get out, and it almost manifests itself as a physical pain. I felt that for the past 3 months. I felt that I experienced that most of the time because I am generally speaking psychologically I'm a very disciplined person. So most of the time I was able to push that out of my mind and just look at living my life one step at a time. But whenever I thought about the pandemic, whenever I lay in bed late at night, these rats start worrying away inside me. You're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of money. The pandemic is not over. You're going to run out of money. Oh God, what are you going to do? How are you going to pay your credit card? What if Tiger gets sick again? What if Aslan gets sick? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? This just repeat in my head over and over and over. I was literally stressing the hell out of myself. And then we fast forward to last Wednesday when Well, I hate to use the word miracle, but if this is not a miracle, I don't know what it is. And it was very prophetic. A miracle happened. Uh, a very prophetic event took place. Wednesday afternoon, around 2 o'clock, I was exchanging messages with one of my good friends and students. Uh, we are both going through some rough time, him a lot more than me. And I was trying to be encouraging. So I was uh, telling him, I said, hey, I know you are having financial problem. I'm having financial problem. And you have so much more going on. I know things kind of seem really bleak, but I look at it this way. We have food in our belly, we have roof over our head, we still have hot water for shower, and we have women that love us. We are a lot more fortunate than about 70% of people in the world. And then, just to lighten the mood a little bit, I laughed. I did an LOL, and I said, well, all I need right now is to stumble upon a bag of money so I can take care of my credit card debt. Less than 3 hours after I made that statement, another student of mine, also a really good friend, while having a conversation with me, made me an offer. He said, Johnny, if you want, I can pay off your entire credit card debt and you don't have to pay me until Johnny Tiger documentary is finished and sold. I'm okay with that. That moment, it's like a huge weight lifted off my shoulder. At that point, I wasn't sure if I was going to accept his offer or not. Uh, but just knowing someone beside me was able and willing to help me through this was such a massive relief that, well, uh, it's kind of hard, it's kind of silly for me to say this, but the world suddenly had color in it. you know, it changed my entire perspective of the world. Like I said, the experience is almost religious. It wonderful. It's one of the more profound experience I've had in my uh, adult life. And I will say I have been very fortunate that I've had a lot of these profound experiences in my adult life. But this is basically the main point I want to make today is to how to be able to find uh, strokes of luck, how to be able to find angels, guardian angels, and profound experiences and miracles like this yourself. Obviously, that it takes a great portion of luck. Okay, we cannot deny that. Uh, it, it takes a big uh, chunk of luck. But other than being as good a person as you know how to be willing to help others, and also I don't need to teach you guys how to be a good person. I'm still trying to figure life out. I'm not qualified to teach you guys how to be a good person. But aside from being a good person and having a good deal of luck, there is one major component that helped me to come across miracles like these. And I want to share that. The secret, the third component, beyond being a good person and being very lucky, The third component is open your mouth. This may sound so clichéic, but closed mouth don't get fed. Right? We all heard that one. Oh, squeaky wheel get the grease. We heard that one too. A few years ago, I remember, actually more than a few years ago, this was like almost 10 years ago, I remember watching this TV show with my ex-girlfriend. And this some kind of reality show about helping people manage their debt and people who are bankrupt or heavily in debt, how to the host of the show, that these people that help them manage their life and stuff like that. For the most part, I wasn't really paying attention. I generally thought shows like that were crap because it just seemed so fake and stuff like that. However, there was one thing on the show that heavily resonated with me even back then, which was when the host told people that were in debt, people that were having financial difficulties. When you have financial difficulties, you will feel ashamed, you will feel embarrassed, but do not clam up. You need to open your mouth, talk to friends, talk to families, because you never know who may be able to help you. And no one is going to help you if they don't know that you are on the verge of committing suicide because you don't have money. No one know that. You need to open your mouth. That resonated heavily with me even when I saw it back then because this is so contradictory to my upbringing. I was brought up in a culture, in a family where saving face is more important than anything else. You die before dishonor, almost like something like that. It's like even when you don't have money to eat, you do not tell people that. You will pretend that you had a good meal, and then people will think that you're doing really, really good, and you at least don't embarrass yourself and you don't embarrass your family. That's the kind of upbringing I came from. So this concept of opening your mouth, saying, "Hey, dude, I really messed up. I'm in a really bad spot. I feel that I don't know what to do. I need help. I really need help." This concept was really foreign, very alien to me. However, after years of experimenting, after years of going against my grain, after years of swallowing my pride and opening my mouth, whenever I need help, I open my mouth and let someone know. I will tell you guys, there are options everywhere. There are options out there. If you just let it be known, what is it that's bothering you? What is it that you need? If you don't open your mouth, it will feel like you are in the dead end. It will feel like the whole world is against you. If you open your mouth, even though not everyone around you is able to help you, but at least there's going to be people who are willing to share the burden with you, to share this moment of darkness and help you, guide you through it. There are so many options in this world, but you need to reach out and grab them. You need to open your mouth and call to them. I'm going to end today's video with a parallel experience from a friend of mine. We call him, we'll just go call him George. No surprise, huh? I seem to, every time I need a name, we say George. Uh, my friend George had a really rough time in the beginning of the pandemic. However, I did not know that until after the fact. In the beginning of the pandemic, George suddenly stopped answering my phone call, and every time I emailed him and messaged him, I said, "Hey George, what's up? Let's you want to come out and train and talk and chat and have coffee?" And he said, "No man, I don't have time. Or no man, I'm busy." He just gave me the cold shoulder for an entire year, and not until the year after that I found out from him what happened. In the beginning of the pandemic, George started having dental problem. Uh, he one of his teeth was infected and he was in a lot of pain. But because of the pandemic and because of his poor health insurance coverage, he couldn't find any dentist that would work with him. And it was a downhill battle. What should have taken an hour to sort out took him 6 months, and he lost four teeth in the end. When finally I heard from George, and he said he was having such a hard time in the previous year. That's why he didn't want to talk or see anybody, talk to or see anybody. I said to him, I said, George, you are a freaking silly ass wipe. If you have told me, if you just even have just mentioned it to me, I have a good friend and a student who is a dentist who knows a lot of other good dentists. If you just said something, I could have gotten it all sorted out for you before the first month, before that first tooth got really bad. But you wanted to give me the cold shoulder all year long and just tell me that you had such a hard time now? Well, next time, please, please, just say something, okay?